Hello and welcome to our brand new show, Firstpost Spotlight, where we bring you the stories that matter to you from all across the world. From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, we shed light on issues that shape our world. I'm Alison Lagrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin with the top headlines. Now, Israel's Security Cabinet meets to discuss the Gaza ceasefire deal as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says hostages are expected to be released as early as Sunday. Ukrainian police conduct 200 searches nationwide as part of an ongoing investigation into the illegal exit of military-aged men from the country as the war against Russia intensifies. Sudan's army denounces U.S. sanctions against its army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, saying they lack the most basic foundations of justice and transparency. A Pakistani court convicts former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi in a landmark case, sentencing Khan to 14 years in prison. And in a setback for Elon Musk's SpaceX, minutes after its launch from Texas, Starship rocket breaks apart in space during its 7th test. The rocket debris delays flights. Hello and welcome. We begin with the latest on the mysterious death of OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji. While authorities claim that the 26-year-old former OpenAI researcher died by suicide, his mother suggests something worse. Suchir Balaji's mother, Purnima Rao, has accused OpenAI of being directly involved in her son's death. In an interview, Balaji's mother said that her son was killed because he had documents to expose OpenAI's murky practices for the development of artificial intelligence chatbots. She said her son was attacked and killed. The late 26-year-old's mother also accused OpenAI of hushing up investigation by suppressing witnesses. She said because of OpenAI's involvement, nobody is ready to come out and tell the truth. Ruling out Suchir Balaji's death as suicide, his mother said that someone hit him in the bathroom and that there were signs of struggle as well as blood spots. Balaji's mother said that her son's apartment was also ransacked before he was discovered dead. Balaji's mother's accusations against OpenAI have drawn strong response in the United States. Silicon Valley Congressman Ro Khanna has called for a full and transparent investigation into the case. Khanna noted Balaji's mother's very serious concerns about foul play into her son's death. Reports in the U.S. media said that the congressman also held a long call with Balaji's mother and assured his support for justice. Meanwhile, tech billionaire Elon Musk, who co-founded OpenAI and left it in 2018, called the accusations extremely concerning. What happened to Suchir Balaji? Was it suicide, as authorities claim, or something worse? On the 26th of November last year, Suchir Balaji was found dead in his San Francisco apartment. Just a day before, on the 25th of November, Balaji had celebrated his 26th birthday. Police were quick to rule his death a suicide, but his parents were unconvinced. Almost until his death, Balaji had raised serious concerns on alleged lack of ethics in the development of artificial intelligence. As a former OpenAI insider who helped to build ChatGPT, Balaji called for regulation of generative AI technologies. The late techie asserted that ChatGPT-like technologies are damaging the internet. Balaji had pointed out that the AI technologies learn from copyrighted information available on the internet, and then the AI competes with that copyrighted work itself. Balaji asked if this qualifies as fair use of information on the internet. Now, the questions raised by Suchir Balaji before his mysterious death continue to remain relevant in the world that's increasingly adapting to the use of artificial intelligence technologies. So, does AI compete with copyrighted works it learns from? Do AI companies like OpenAI follow copyright laws? Is AI damaging the internet? Does AI bring more harm than benefit to the society? Even as the use of AI continues to show positive results in making business and services efficient, the risks and threats that it poses cannot be sidelined. Experts even say that over-reliance on AI could lead to a loss of creative thinking skills. The concerns raised by Suchir Balaji about the lack of ethics in ChatGPT maker OpenAI continue to put the spotlight on the company's CEO, Sam Altman. The revelation that Balaji possessed documents to expose OpenAI's questionable practices has made his death case even more mysterious. The top question remains, is Altman trying to hide something which Balaji was supposed to reveal? And moving on, the United States has implemented major reforms to the H-1B Visa program, and these reforms have come into effect today. The new rules bring major changes for Indian techies, students, and businesses. So what is the H-1B visa program? What are these new reforms? How will it affect Indians in America? And how are things likely to change as Donald Trump returns to the Oval Office? Let's break it down for you. Now, what is the H-1B visa program? The H-1B non-immigrant visa program allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers for special occupations which require advanced specialized knowledge. The H-1B visa program has become a cornerstone of American tech and STEM fields, which include science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, the U.S. Congress caps the H-1B visa program at 85,000 visas. However, exceptions push the number of approvals far higher. In 2019, there were 585,000 H-1B visa recipients. This number dipped during the pandemic, but rose again in 2022 to 410,000. In 2023, it stood at over 750,000. Indians, the second largest immigrant group in the U.S. after Mexicans, make up the majority of the H-1B visa holders. They accounted for 72.3% of the 386,000 H-1B visas in 2023. In 2022, Indian nationals secured 77% of the 320,000 approved H-1B visas. Indians on H-1B visas are most notable in the U.S. tech industry, holding key positions in companies like Google, Microsoft, and Apple. They also work as doctors, nurses, professors, and academics. However, fewer H-1B visas have been issued in recent years. Now coming to the major revamps that have gone into effect today. The U.S. Homeland Security says that the revamp gives greater flexibility to employers to hire global talent, boost America's economic competitiveness, and to allow high-skilled workers to continue advancing American innovation. Now let's understand what these key changes are. The first is a change in the introduction of measures against lottery rules. Rules for submitting bulk applications in the lottery system will be tightened. This will promote fairness. Secondly, it will simplify transition for F1 visa holders, so students on F1 visas will face fewer disruptions while shifting to H-1B status. Indian students are the largest group of international students in America, with over 331,000 students in 2023. Third is faster visa processing. The U.S. Immigration Service has committed to expedite applications for H-1B extensions to ease the burden on employers and workers. Rules provide flexibility for employers. Businesses can now hire H-1B visa workers based on documented needs, allowing more adaptable workforce planning. Fifth, it now brings in stronger safeguards. There will be enhanced inspections, penalties for non-compliance, and stricter checks to prevent misuse. Last and the most important one involves the change in the H-1B visa renewal process. Earlier, visa holders had to travel back to their home country for renewals, which involved in-person interviews at US embassies or consulates. Now, H-1B visa holders will be able to renew their visas without leaving the US. All of these measures, and especially the visa renewal process being made easy, are being seen as a positive change for Indian techies. The revamp in the H-1B visa programs will not only streamline approval process, but also increase flexibility for employers to retain talented employees. While the new rules come as good news for Indian H-1B visa holders, there is also growing uncertainty over the impact of Donald Trump's immigration policies. Trump will be inaugurated as president in just 3 days, and many visa holders are anxious about his potential crackdown on legal immigration. During his previous presidency, Trump introduced policies that increased scrutiny of the H-1B application. It led to a 24% rejection rate in the year 2018, which is significantly higher than the 2 to 4% rejection rate under Joe Biden. He also tightened rules for the optional practical training or OPT programs, which allow international students, including Indians, to work in the US after graduation. Trump's harsh immigration decisions in the first term have created tensions among Indian immigrants as he returns to the Oval Office. The H-1B visa holders have also faced a surge in xenophobia in recent days, with far-right supporters branding them as job invaders and cheap labor. Last month, Sriram Krishnan, an Indian American and AI advisor to Trump, faced criticism for backing skilled immigration policies. Republican hardliners say the H-1B visa displace American workers and depress wages. They have called for a complete halt to hiring skilled workers from countries like India. But Trump's tech allies have been at loggerheads with the MAGA camp over the issue. Tesla CEO Elon Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy have argued that US companies need trained foreign employees. So far, Donald Trump himself has sent mixed signals on the H-1B visas. During his election campaign, he said that he would build America, buy American, and hire American. He even said the H-1B visa program was bad for workers. However, he later acknowledged the need for smart people in the US. While the revamp to the H-1B visa program brings some relief for Indians in America, uncertainty still looms, leaving many of them in a precarious situation. And moving on to some news from the Korean Peninsula, where tensions have been on the rise. Now, in the latest, American aircraft flying over the Korean Peninsula have left the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un fuming. North Korea is opposing the latest round of joint military exercises between the US, South Korea and Japan, during which the US B-1B bombers, F-16s and F-15s flew over the Korean Peninsula. Condemning the trilateral drill, Kim Jong-un's regime threatened responses by exercising its right to self-defense more intensively. In a statement, North Korea's foreign ministry said that such provocations clarify once again Pyongyang's need to exercise its sovereign rights. North Korea has said it will strongly deter any military provocation planned by hostile forces and that it would firmly defend the security interests of the state. The North Korean threat follows the US, Japan and South Korea's trilateral exercise on Wednesday. The Allies staged joint air drills with 2 American B-1B heavy bombers, which were escorted by Japanese and South Korean fighter jets. North Korea also denounced the Joint Nuclear Consultative Group, or the NCG, between the US and South Korea. The group aims to manage nuclear threats from North Korea. The US and South Korea held an NCG meeting last week. Now, the US reaffirmed its commitment to enhance the visibility of its strategic assets in the Korean Peninsula. The drills and the meeting were in response to North Korea's latest missile launches. Pyongyang fired short-range ballistic missiles and tested its new hypersonic missile system this month. Experts believe that the latest launches were a message to the incoming administration of President-elect Donald Trump in the United States. The launches are believed to be aimed at reasserting the regime's presence. The rise in tensions also comes against the backdrop of disagreement between South Korea and the US over North Korea's nuclear status. Trump's nominee to lead the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, reportedly called North Korea a nuclear power in a statement submitted to a Senate panel. Now, in response to the alleged comments, South Korean Defense Ministry said that Pyongyang's status as a nuclear power can't be recognized and that Seoul will work with the US to denuclearize the North. The relations between the two Koreas are at their lowest amidst Pyongyang's flurry of missile launches. Kim Jong-un's missile testing spree worries the US and its regional allies. Kim's growing ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin have further added to the West's concerns. North Korea has sent thousands of its troops to Russia to fight the war in Ukraine under a defense pact that the two nations signed last year. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was in Seoul earlier this month when North Korean leader Kim Jong-un test-launched a hypersonic missile. Blinken expressed concerns over growing Russia-North Korea ties. He said that there was evidence of Russia stepping up its support for North Korea's satellite and space technology in reward for its aid in the war. Russia, a veto-wielding UNSC member's support to North Korea, could boost its nuclear program. And in our last story, we take you to China, where the city of Shanghai has found a musical solution for its economic woes. Their solution is Taylor Swift. Officials in China's most populated city confirmed that they were talking to the singer-songwriter Taylor Swift about a potential concert this year. Officials also expressed optimism that Swift will indeed perform in Shanghai later in 2025. In China, the courting and convincing of popular artists for concerts marks an unusual trend. Historically, the Communist Party-run country has been cautious about granting permission for large-scale events involving foreign celebrities and artists, and that's because the country remains concerned about Western society's influence on Chinese people. The party also fears that popular Western artists and songs could end up evoking emotions of liberation and freedom among the Chinese youth. But in recent years, China's slowing down economy has forced it to sideline these concerns. Its economy grew just 5% last year, which is the lowest since 1990. Experts say the decline in consumer spending is the key reason behind the slowdown of growth. And that's where pop stars such as Taylor Swift come into the picture. Taylor Swift, also referred to as a walking GDP due to her massive economic impact of her concerts, could patch up China's breaking down economic growth. The economic impact of her Eras Tour in 2024 stands as evidence. The Eras Tour generated about $5 billion in consumer spending in the US. Swift's concert in Mexico City last year generated an estimated $59 million in revenue. Swift's concerts are credited to have revitalized local tourism industries in Latin America and Europe. To attend Taylor Swift's concerts, young people with or even without disposable income have been traveling to other cities, and this pumps up domestic tourism and boosts consumer spending. And that's what China expects from a potential Taylor Swift concert in Shanghai, a boost in the consumer spending of its largest city. Taylor Swift is only the latest among a series of Western artists who have performed in China recently. Last year, rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, performed at 2 sold-out concerts in Hebei province. American singer Mariah Carey's concerts in Beijing also drew large crowds. In October last year, John Legend also played gigs in Beijing and Shanghai. The British singer James Blunt also performed in multiple Chinese cities in December. Ed Sheeran has announced his shows in Hangzhou in February and March. Rappers Cardi B and Travis Scott have also been reached out to perform in Hainan province later this year. As China courts Taylor Swift for a concert, the relevance of Swiftonomics, or the impact of Taylor Swift on a region's economy, has once again emerged as the most valuable pop culture currency of our times. The Chinese Swifties can finally rejoice as the possibility of a Taylor Swift concert in Shanghai becomes all too real. And that's all we have on the show for today. We will see you again at the same time on Monday. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.